Good morning. Welcome to Nanda's house. Today's adventure is canning taco meat. The recipe I am using says that I am supposed to get 14 pints of taco meat. When I started this morning, I was like, yeah, no problem, no problem. I've run into a couple problems already. First problem is I can't find my big pot to cook 14 pounds of meat all at once. And so I have had to split it up in half, 7 and 7. And right now I am cooking the last 7 pounds of meat. The other thing is, well, the 14, having the big pot. The other variation I'm going to be doing is that I don't have, the recipe calls for tomato paste, and I don't have tomato paste. What I have is tomato powder. And so it's to make 6 ounces of tomato paste, it's a 1/4 cup of tomato powder and a 1/4 cup of hot milk or hot water, and I'll be mixing that up later on. So let me cook up this last 7 pounds of meat, and we'll be back. My lighting isn't this great. This is the last 7 pounds of meat, and you can tell there's a lot, all the fat's coming out, which is what you want. So what's interesting with this is that it said to cook the meat with water added. So for 7 pounds of meat, I needed to add 2 cups of water, and that supposedly is to make it cook faster. And I have to say, it does cook faster. It makes kind of like this meat slurry that actually just boils away and cooks the meat pretty fast. And then what I do is I put everything in my colander. You can see that I've already done one batch. I put it in my colander. I collect all the water, grease, and get rid of that in an appropriate manner. And that's just how we're going to roll today. So here I am. I have all my meat cooked up. Half of it is sitting in the bowl. Some of it is still draining. You can see it right back there. And my legs are getting tired and I need a break, and I still want to be able to get this stuff in the jars. So, and get them in the pressure canner and get them going. So my original recipe calls for 14 pounds of ground beef, a cup of tomato paste, which I'm substituting tomato powder for that. I was going to reconstitute that, but we'll get back to that. 3.5 cups of taco seasoning, salt to taste, and 13 cups of water divided, and you might not need it all. Okay, so with that, my next step that I'm supposed to do is to put all of that back into the pot. Add the tomato paste, the taco seasoning, and 2 cups of water, and then bring it back up to heat. And then put water on to boil and fill my cups. I'm still going to get hot water. But anyway, what I'm going to do is this, because my legs are getting tired. I'm trying to get off my feet and rest a little bit. And as my mother always said, you can't cook while you're sitting down. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to divide the taco seasoning and the tomato powder into the 14 pint jars. Now when I do my math, if I take 3.5 cups and I divide that by 14, I get that each pint jar should get a 1/4 cup of taco seasoning, which is about right. If you think about making tacos per pound, you're putting in about a 1/4 cup every time per pound when you make tacos. So that's about right. I'm good with that. I've never made tacos with tomato paste before, but because this recipe calls for it, I'm going to go with it. and see how it comes out. So if I have a 1/4 cup of tomato powder. I actually have a little bit more. And when I do the math, follow me here. When I do the math, a 1/4 cup is equal to 4 tablespoons. Still not easily divisible by 14. If I take the 4 tablespoons, multiply it by 3, because there's 3 teaspoons in each tablespoon, then I get 12. If I take 12 and divide it by 14, I get about one teaspoon. So for each pint jar, I'm going to add 1 teaspoon of tomato powder. And then I'm going to fill the jars up with the already cooked hamburger. You don't want to can raw hamburger. It doesn't work. You end up with a glob of meat. So I tried to can meatloaf once. I won't do it again. I ended up with a glob of meat that did not come out of the jar. So, but even the recommendation is that you cook ground meat so all the heat gets through the meat, and protects you from any creepy crawlies that make you sick. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to take my 14 jars. I only have 13 because we're going to have tacos tonight, so there's going to be one left over. I hope. The other reason I hope it's going to be 14 jars is because my ground meat was actually half beef and half pork. We have ground pork. When we did our pig, we absolutely did not need any more sausage, and I had them just grind it up and put it in a bag. Now with that, it's ground pork. It has a lot more fat, and who knows how it cooked up. I don't know. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to take and divide up the seasonings per jar, and then I'm going to put in the ground meat. I'm going to put it in as tight as possible because it's going to shrink a little bit more. And then I'm going to put hot water up in the jar, and I'm going to fill everything to 1 inch space, 1 inch head space, because that's what the recommendation is for meat. Now for some other things, you might get a 1/4, but for meat, I know I need 1/4, or 1 inch head space. So when we're all done with that, I'll be back. Okay, we have 9 pints in the pressure canner. I put 3 quarts of water in the pressure canner because that's what my Presto pressure canner requires. I have 4 more pints that I will put in my electric pressure canner. These will pressure can for 75 minutes at 10 pounds of pressure, because that's what my elevation is. And when they're done, I'll let them sit out there for a while, and then we'll remove them. First batch, 9 jars are out of the pressure canner, and I notice at the bottom I see the taco seasoning. Although it's all dissolved and everything, it didn't disseminate like I thought it would. I'm sure that when I dump all this into a pan when we use them and to eat them, it's going to mix in pretty well. Not exactly what I anticipated, but it is 1:30, and these are done. Hey, that was me canning taco meat today. Everything's still pretty hot. I still have my electric pressure canner that needs to lose its pressure and cool down for a little bit before I can take the remaining jars out. So tonight is taco night. So yes, I'm glad that I've got 13 meals that are going to go downstairs that I can pull out and have tacos probably about every other week. I'm trying to make a calendar of things to have. And right now I have tacos every other week on Tuesday. I know it's not Tuesday, it's only Monday, but we'll be doing it every other Tuesday starting in 2 weeks. So that is what we did today. I hope you enjoyed all this. I hope you learned something. If I can find the recipe that I printed out online, I will put it in a pinned comment down below, so you can see the recipe that I used. And I trust that all of you are going to have a wonderful day, and I will see you next time. Bye.